All right, I decided doing some notes on notebook paper and taking a picture and sending it to you wasn't the best idea, best way to go about this. So I'm going to try to make you a video so we can kind of show you. And then obviously if you have more questions, you can, but this is probably, seeing it applied to your situation is probably easier than watching videos of, somebody else online. So we're going to assume that in this example, there is a job that you've done that cost you $80,000. The way we're doing it now is with the 20% markup. That's what you would bill the customer, and then the difference being minus that is 16,000. That would be the profit. Okay, now if we go to 25% markup, that would be 80,000 times 1.25. That is 100,000, which in profit would be obviously 20. Now let's go down to this margin that you wanted. Okay, the margin is figured, so if we're multiplying the cost by 1.2, or 1 plus 0.2%, 0.2 for the percentage, for 20%. Instead, we now divide that by 0.8. So the opposite of the reciprocal of 0.2. And what do we get? 100,000. Once again, a profit of 80. I'm sorry, a profit of 20,000. So we just realized that if we call it a 20% margin, we get the same outcome as if we did a cost plus 25% markup. Now, why is that? Because a markup is determined off of the cost. So a markup, we're doing 20% of the 80,000. Whereas margin, we are asking of the 100,000 that we took in as payment, how much of that was profit? Well, of the 100,000, 20,000 of it was profit, which is a 20% margin. So the margin is based off of the check we receive. It is not based off of the cost. So in this instance, you would be gaining an additional $4,000 in income. Now, so you could see it on some others. I have done it to Billy's Dream, and I've also done it to Cattle Run, so I wouldn't have to remember where I put it, and then I screw up a client's cost summary. So once again, we're multiplying the expenses times 1.2. Comes out to 123,608. Here we are taking the expenses divided by the reciprocal of 1.2, so divided by 0.8, and that equals 128. So the difference would be 5,150. Then if we go over here to Cattle Run, we have 6971 times 1.2 for our 20% markup, or we have 6971 divided by 0.8 for our 20% margin. Therefore, the difference would be 348.57. This is basically going to be as if everything we put on the cost summary is going to be like a Lowe's receipt, where we're just taking an extra 5%. Now, the disadvantage of this is if we do this, for instance, if I put it up here somewhere, like our cost plus now, it will be that markup or margin will be paired up or be right next to this the cost. And I think clients or customers may see that as an issue. So I think I'm going to think about the idea of where I can put that so that it's not glaring that we are working backwards instead of forwards. And then the other thing is you just need to make certain that lawyer makes the language damn good and that in your new agreements, because it's going to say, you know, these cost plus jobs is going to be cost plus a 20% margin. And that's the only difference in language. However, we are going to be gaining an additional 5% profit. So I hope this video helped. Obviously, when we see each other next, I can walk you through it some more. And you can see that it's a very simple thing to do on these cost summaries, the calculations of it. So I can make cost summaries, do that immediately or what have you. But we will discuss how you want it to look moving forward. But I will leave these Billy's Dream and these Cattle Run up the way they are, so that you can go in and toggle with it if you want. But here is that. This proves to you that if we call it a margin instead of a markup, we're going to be making more profit. All right. Have a good rest of the weekend. Let me know if you have any questions.